Okay, cool. So how did you hear about the company? Oh, they came by. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for being nice to them. You know, they've got a pretty tough gig. Did you do any research on the company before we came out, or is this kind of the first you're hearing about us? Okay, perfect. Would you be offended if I share some stuff with you? Okay, I'll hit the highlights for you. I won't bore you. So, I mean, you've been in the house for a while. You've done probably a couple projects, but have you had a lot of experience with getting estimates and stuff? Okay, cool. Because the reason why I ask is because it's the most complained about industry. You know, not because construction is noisy or messy or stressful or any of that stuff. It's because, you know, like they say here in the Post Dispatch, folks go out of business and then they change their name. New LLC swapping, if you will. You probably heard of that, seen it in the news and stuff. Yeah, new circus, same monkeys. Kind of like playing whack a mole with bad contractors. So you know, here's an example. They say they've been around since 1991, but you know they didn't open until 2005. So, pretty big discrepancy there. Missouri shut them down with registration of fictitious name. Then just 2 years later, they just changed the name again. Yeah, so we see that all the time, unfortunately. And then you lose your services and warranties. You know, Yellow Pages here. You know, been in here since 1990. Our first ad listed, and of 135 companies you could have called, one, two, three, four are still around. Yeah, even McBride and Sons, they're a builder now, not a remodeler. So the stats on this are very clear. So if you get 100 bids out here today, 50 of those companies are going to be out of business next year, and 90 of those companies are going to be out of business in 5 years. Yeah, unfortunately, pretty tough business there. So for us, fortunately, you know, we've been around since 1990 and we've never changed our name. $53 for a business license. Yeah, I don't know what it is now, but I'm sure it's not that. So that's kind of the main thing, is having a reputation you can actually stand on. So I appreciate you letting us sit down. We treat these like interviews. So for the resume, if you will, we've had over 33,000 customers and over 49,000 projects. So if you're doing the math on that, more projects and customers is good, because that means people call us back, right? So we must be doing something right. So, you know, it's no secret how we do that is, you know, we have a lot of incentive to do a great job for you because we're full service. So we don't want to just do the fence for you and then sell you another fence in 10 years. We want that to be a permanent solution. So you call us back on the, you know, the kitchen or the patio cover or what have you. So EPA for older houses, you got a newer house, wouldn't worry about that. So some cool things you get with Midtown you don't get with other folks is, number one, you get a price lock guarantee. So that means once the project starts, there will be no changes to your price. You know, they can charge you up to a third. So let's say you spent, you know, $30,000 on your project here. So 2, 4, 6, that's like $8,000. They can charge extra, almost 10. You know, so that's kind of a pain to rebudget for. And are you familiar with lien waivers? Kind of familiar with liens, yeah. So you know, they will repo the house or the car if you don't pay for stuff. So if a company goes out of business, they bought someone credit, and then you know, they didn't pay off their creditors, they'll come after the homeowner for that money, because that turns small projects into big projects. Even though you've already paid for it, you know, they can hold you, put a lien on the house. And so we're a debt-free company. We always give you the lien waiver, so that way you don't have to worry about that. Insurance here too, $2 million per occurrence, general standard everybody should have. But workman's comp though, $1 million per occurrence. So that's where people cut corners. So you always make sure they have that, even if you have somebody just cleaning the gutters or something, because you could be held liable as a homeowner. So yeah, you just want to make sure that they're covered. And you know, there's no certifications or contractors test or anything like that to, you know, to install windows or a deck or anything. So, you know, you and I could start a business next week if we wanted to, but if we want to open a barbershop, we both got to go to school, right? So NARI is an additional certification we don't have to do. They audit us every year. It's a national certification: honesty, integrity, responsibility, safety, all good things you want from somebody working on or in your home. We're one of their elite remodelers. They look at your, you know, without boring you with every detail, they look at your products and services, make sure advertising is accurate, you know, you comply with your contracts, BBB, insurance, all that sort of stuff. There's over 2,600 remodeling companies in the state of Missouri. Any guesses on how many people wanted to do that? 20%, 50%? Good guess. So about 2.5%, 26 companies overall, about 6 in the city of St. Louis. So just an extra degree of commitment. You know, if you're going to go out of business in 5 years, no point in doing that. But we've been around for 34, so do as much as we can. We got an award from them. Top workplaces too. You can also check out our website. We have even more there. You know, not that you're looking for a job or anything, but it's nice to hire happy people. They do better work. They're easier to talk to and follow up with. So, fastest growing companies too. A big question you want to ask is, you know, are you going to be around? And you know, of all tech companies, we're the only home improvement company to make that list, which is really cool. They held a breakfast for us and all that, which is really nice. But the coolest thing I want to show you is the qualified top remodeler. I'm sure you're familiar with the Forbes 500, but this is like that for home improvements. You know, we're not number 499 or 500. If we were, I'd still show you. It's still pretty cool. But 2019, number 62, done about $24 million in business. So I'll skip the year by year for you here ahead to 2024. Just released this, broke the top 50. Over 60, almost $60 million, doing over 2,500 projects every single year. So we stay really busy. It's a good problem to have. There's an opportunity for you too if you want to schedule fill. We talked about that a little bit, and you know, I'll show you that later. But for full service rankings, this is brand new and really exciting. And number 3 for full service. We have a whip report here. So some other people spent on their deck 33, 40, 36, 40. A big whopper here, 119. You know, yours is going to be a little bit better deal than that, unless you want to, you know, go for the whole wrap around the house. No, I'm kidding. So what zip code are we in here? I'm going a little fast for the sake of the video, but 1, 2, 3. Okay, so at least 654 other projects we've done, total about $2.6 million. So, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. It's not like your third or fourth project that we're doing in the neighborhood. It's not a test run. You know, we're pretty well engaged here. What we kind of would like to help you avoid as a company is a quintessential bad experience where, you know, folks are in the news like, I don't know what the heck happened. You know, this is one where he ripped off 40 people for $60,000. He got 5 years probation. You know, kind of a slap on the wrist if you ask me. It's not really much of a punishment. So whenever it comes to the money side of things, we try to protect you as much as we can. So we don't ask for 30 or 40 or 50% down. We'll do 10% down, and then the other 90 you can pay once it's all complete. On bigger projects with cash, we do a third. But we can talk about that a little bit more once we get into the numbers. But as far as financing, super simple stuff, low rates. I'm talking single digit, super competitive. You would have to take out equity on your home to get anything closed. You don't have to put collateral down. It's unsecured. Simple interest as opposed to compounding, and no prepayment penalties means you can pay it off early, right? So example contract, put everything in detail so nothing gets lost in translation. All your codes, permits, surveys, all that sort of stuff we pull. Keep all that to 10 years physically and digitally forever in case you ever need it serviced for 100% satisfaction guarantee. So by the end you get a report card so you can kind of tattle or brag however your experience was essentially. So that's pretty much the whole thing. Family owned, veteran owned, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So do you have any other questions about the company, or does it sound like we'll do a pretty good job for you? That's what I like to hear. Yeah.